if I were to choose to live my life over again, I wouldn't live it in this way. Do you know Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not personally.
No. The book. The end of that book would bring tears to my eyes for years. Christopher Robin has to go to school, and he's telling his friends, the toy animals, that he won't be able to play with them so much anymore. And what I wasn't aware of when I went to medical school and when I was a physician is how driven I was to justify my existence in the world. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. When you're driven to work too hard, you actually ignore what matters. And what matters is what you were telling me last night about how every summer you take a bunch of weeks away from your podcast and you just spend time enjoying your kids and your wife and your family. I didn't do that. I always felt I had to keep working. And the book ends with the statement, and whatever they do or wherever they go in the enchanted forest, the little boy and his bear will always be playing together. And that phrase would bring tears to my eyes for years. People sacrifice their playfulness, their joyfulness, being driven by unconscious needs to validate your existence. And where does that come from? Again, that comes from childhood trauma. Play is so important, and joy is so important. In that sense, we can always keep playing in the enchanted forest, and that's just essential, I think.
Welcome to Self-Mastery Labs. Let's get started. Chapter 1. The hidden costs of chasing success. In a world where hustle culture reigns supreme, it's easy to get swept up in the race for success. You've seen the slogans plastered across Instagram: rise and grind, hustle harder, no days off. They've been ingrained in our minds as badges of honor. But here's a question: at what cost? As we strive to prove our worth through career milestones, promotions, and material achievements, something vital tends to slip through the cracks: our joy, our relationships, and often our health. Let's face it, success, as society defines it, comes with a steep price tag. It demands long hours, constant focus, and the ability to push yourself beyond limits. We often hear stories of entrepreneurs who work 80-hour weeks, CEOs who sleep 4 hours a night, or professionals who sacrifice family time for that next big deal. While these stories are glorified, what we don't see are the emotional tolls, the strained relationships, or the deep sense of dissatisfaction that often accompany these so-called successes. And here's where it gets tricky. It's not just the time and energy we give up in pursuit of success, it's the joy, playfulness, and connection we lose along the way. Research shows that while achieving career goals can provide a temporary boost in happiness, it doesn't lead to lasting fulfillment. What truly makes life meaningful? It's the relationships we cultivate, the moments of laughter, and the sense of purpose that comes from living authentically, not just from reaching the next rung on the corporate ladder. Think about it. When we're kids, success is measured by how much fun we had in a day. Did we build the tallest Lego tower? Did we make new friends on the playground? Did we laugh until our stomachs hurt? Somewhere along the way, though, that shifts. We begin to measure our worth through external achievements: how much money we make, how prestigious our job is, how impressive our resume looks. And while achieving career goals can bring satisfaction, we often end up looking back and wondering, was it really worth it? Take it from those who've reached the top and later confess their regrets. A famous study from a hospice nurse revealed the #1 regret of the dying: I wish I hadn't worked so hard. People realize, often too late, that in their pursuit of success, they missed out on what really matters: time with loved ones, moments of joy, and living life in a way that felt true to who they are. If we're not careful, we risk losing touch with the very things that make life worthwhile. Just like Christopher Robin in Winnie the Pooh, who laments leaving behind his playful days with his friends as he heads off to school, many of us reach adulthood only to feel the same pang of nostalgia for simpler times. But unlike Christopher Robin, we don't have to say goodbye to playfulness. It's not too late to reclaim it, and if we don't, well, the regret may eventually outweigh the rewards. Chapter 2. How childhood drives shape our adult ambitions. Let's take a trip back to childhood for a moment. Picture yourself as a kid, running around the yard or daydreaming in class. What was your motivation then? Was it to impress someone or prove your worth? Probably not. You were driven by curiosity, wonder, and the sheer joy of discovery. But somewhere along the way, the motivation shifted. Suddenly, life became less about play and more about performance. For many of us, this shift happens when our childhood experiences, particularly those marked by trauma, neglect, or unmet emotional needs, start to play an invisible role in our adult ambitions. Maybe you had to grow up too fast, or perhaps you weren't given the validation you needed as a child. Whatever the case, those early experiences can create a deep-seated need to prove yourself as an adult. Think about it. The kid who never heard "I'm proud of you" may become the adult who seeks validation through promotions, pay raises, or praise from their boss. The child who felt ignored may grow into the adult who works relentlessly to be noticed, constantly striving for external markers of success. And while that drive can push us to achieve, it often leaves us feeling unfulfilled. We're left chasing a moving target, never quite satisfied with what we've accomplished. Psychologists often refer to this as the achievement trap, where our self-worth becomes entangled with our accomplishments. This leads to perfectionism, burnout, and an endless cycle of striving for more. The irony? No matter how much success we achieve, it's never enough to fill the emotional voids left from childhood. And here's where it gets interesting. Research shows that people who are driven by unresolved childhood needs are more likely to experience burnout and emotional exhaustion. According to the Journal of Behavioral Health, individuals who chase success as a way of compensating for early emotional neglect often find themselves dissatisfied even when they reach their goals. The internal need for validation can never be fully satisfied by external achievements. But there's good news. The cycle can be broken. By recognizing the emotional drivers behind our ambitions, we can begin to redefine what success means to us. It's not about abandoning ambition, it's about balancing it with emotional awareness. Once we understand that success won't heal those childhood wounds, we can start to prioritize the things that will: connection, joy, playfulness, and purpose. Chapter 3: Rediscovering Playfulness in a World That's All About Hustle. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you really played? I'm not talking about hitting the gym or binge watching Netflix, though those are great too. I'm talking about spontaneous, no strings attached play, the kind of play that makes you lose track of time and fills you with joy for no reason other than the sheer fun of it. If you're struggling to remember, don't worry, you're not alone. In today's fast-paced world, play is often seen as something for children. Adults are expected to hustle, grind, and be productive every second of the day. In fact, we've become so conditioned to equate productivity with value that taking time to simply play can feel like a waste of time. But here's the thing, play isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Let's take a page from Winnie the Pooh, shall we? The characters in the story find joy in the simplest moments, whether it's Pooh chasing bees for honey or Tigger bouncing around just for the fun of it. They remind us that life is about more than just tasks and responsibilities. It's about delighting in the present, laughing with friends, and finding wonder in the everyday. As adults, we've forgotten that play isn't just for kids. It's for anyone who wants to live a more joyful, fulfilling life. And guess what? The science backs it up. Studies show that playfulness in adulthood is linked to higher levels of creativity, better problem-solving skills, and lower stress. A playful mindset encourages us to approach life with curiosity and flexibility, qualities that are essential not just for happiness, but for success in both personal and professional life. Play doesn't have to mean jumping on a trampoline, though if that's your thing, go for it. It can be as simple as cracking a joke, engaging in a fun conversation, or picking up a hobby just for the joy of it. When we allow ourselves to play, we break free from the grind and reconnect with the parts of ourselves that crave spontaneity and lightheartedness. In a world that's constantly telling us to hustle harder, choosing play is an act of rebellion, and it's one of the best things we can do for our well-being. So go ahead, give yourself permission to play. After all, life's too short to be serious all the time. Chapter 4: Building Resilience Through Joy. Life has a funny way of throwing curveballs, doesn't it? Whether it's a career setback, a personal challenge, or just the daily grind, we all face moments that test our resilience. But here's something you might not know. Joy, and specifically playfulness, can be one of your greatest tools for building resilience. When we think of resilience, we often picture grit, determination, and toughing it out through hard times. And while those qualities are important, they're only part of the equation. The other, often overlooked component of resilience is joy. In fact, research shows that experiencing positive emotions like joy and playfulness actually strengthens our ability to bounce back from adversity. How? It all comes down to what psychologists call the broaden and build theory. Positive emotions like joy help us think more broadly, opening up our minds to new possibilities and creative solutions. This mental flexibility is crucial when we're faced with challenges because it allows us to see beyond the immediate problem and find ways to adapt. Playfulness, in particular, encourages us to take risks, experiment, and approach difficulties with a sense of humor, all of which are essential for resilience. Consider the characters in Winnie the Pooh once again. They're constantly facing small challenges, getting stuck in rabbit holes, losing their way in the forest. But they approach each problem with curiosity and playfulness. They don't dwell on failure. They learn, adapt, and move forward, often with a laugh along the way. This playful attitude is what makes them resilient. As adults, we can learn a lot from this mindset. When we face challenges with a sense of joy and lightness, we become more resilient. We stop seeing setbacks as failures and start viewing them as opportunities to learn, grow, and try again. And here's the best part. Playfulness is contagious. When we approach life with a playful mindset, we inspire those around us to do the same. Joy and resilience go hand in hand because when we let ourselves laugh, play, and find light in tough situations, we diffuse the tension, making it easier to bounce back. Now, this doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine. It's about cultivating a mindset that balances seriousness with light-heartedness. When you embrace play, even in the face of adversity, you activate the parts of your brain that are wired for creativity and problem solving. You stop seeing the world as a battlefield and start seeing it as a playground full of opportunities to learn and grow. So, the next time life throws you a curveball, remember this. Resilience isn't just about gritting your teeth and pushing through. It's also about finding moments of joy and playfulness amidst the struggle. It's in these moments of lightness that we find the strength to keep going, to learn from our mistakes, and to ultimately come out stronger. Chapter 5. Reclaiming Balance. How to blend ambition with joy. Alright, now that we've explored the importance of joy, play, and resilience, let's talk about how to strike that elusive balance between ambition and happiness. After all, we live in a world where success is often defined by professional achievements, and ignoring your ambitions isn't the answer. But what if I told you there's a way to pursue your goals and keep joy at the center of your life? The key to reclaiming balance lies in redefining success, not as an endless list of career achievements, but as a life that feels fulfilling and aligned with your values. And here's a little secret. When you allow space for play and joy, your professional ambitions don't have to suffer. In fact, they can thrive. Let's break it down. First, recognize that play isn't just something you do on weekends or during vacation. It's a mindset. When you approach your work with curiosity and enthusiasm, it stops feeling like a grind and starts feeling more like an adventure. Have you ever noticed how much easier it is to solve a problem when you're not stressing out about it? That's because playfulness opens up your brain to new ideas and perspectives, making you more effective in whatever you're doing. Take a look at some of the world's most successful innovators, people like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, or Richard Branson. What sets them apart isn't just their work ethic, it's their willingness to think creatively and approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and play. These leaders understand that playfulness and ambition are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they fuel each other. But finding balance also requires a conscious decision to set boundaries. That means learning to say no to overwork, carving out time for the things that bring you joy, and resisting the urge to equate busyness with productivity. Research from Harvard Business Review reveals that individuals who maintain hobbies and leisure activities outside of work report higher job satisfaction and greater overall well-being. Play doesn't take away from your professional ambitions, it enhances them. Here's a practical tip. Schedule time for play, seriously. Put it on your calendar, just like you would a meeting or a deadline. Whether it's spending time with your kids, going for a hike, or picking up a new hobby, make it a priority. When you allow yourself to recharge through joyful activities, you bring more energy and creativity back to your work. Lastly, let's talk about one of the most powerful motivators, connection. Play is not just something we do alone, it's something we share with others. Think about the best moments of your life. Chances are they weren't spent in a cubicle or at a desk. They were likely shared with friends, family, or loved ones, filled with laughter, spontaneity, and joy. Building meaningful connections is a form of play, and it's an essential part of living a balanced, fulfilling life. At the end of the day, success is about more than just ticking off boxes on a to-do list. It's about feeling alive, connected, and true to yourself. By blending ambition with joy, you create a life that's not only successful by conventional standards, but deeply rewarding and satisfying on a personal level. So here's the takeaway. Don't wait until you've reached all your career goals to start living. Reclaim play, embrace joy, and watch as your life, both personally and professionally, begins to thrive. You can have it all, as long as you redefine what having it all really means. By weaving joy, play, and resilience into your everyday life, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. And that, my friend, is the ultimate success. Thanks for sticking around until the end. I hope today's conversation sparked something inside of you. Maybe a reminder to make space for joy. Maybe a little nudge to take that risk you've been holding off on. Or maybe even a realization that success and happiness aren't mutually exclusive. Before you head off, I want to ask you something that could completely change the way you approach your life moving forward. If you could balance ambition with joy, risk with resilience, and play with purpose, how different would your life look right now? Let that sink in for a moment. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Seriously, I want to hear what this question stirs up for you. And if you're thinking, I've been too focused on the grind, you're not alone. We're all in this together, figuring it out step by step. If today's video resonated with you, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs this reminder. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you want more content that helps you live a life where success doesn't come at the cost of joy. Until next time, remember, success is sweeter when it's shared with a playful heart. See you soon.